Okay, so we will be mainly focusing on the design procedure of this digital filters. Okay, now you are more familiar with the high pass filter, low pass filter, band pass, band stop filter. These filters you are knowing. So basically, the filtering, digital filter design, we will start with the IIR design, infinite impulse response filter design. Okay, so filtering is a process of changing signal spectrum content. So we will be changing the sequence into some other sequence, more desirable sequence. Now, the filter, if we see here, so we will be having IIR and FIR filters. Now, in this filter design, we will be using the Z transform and discrete time Fourier transform for the design of the filter. Okay, so in case of IIR, today we will focus on the IIR the filter design, and here we will be using the bilinear transformation. Okay, so what is that bilinear transformation? We will see in this coming slides. So here the Z transform is basically to convert an analog filter into the digital filter, and to get the difference equation, there we will use the Z transform. The discrete time Fourier transform is to analyze the spectral response. Okay, so this is used in case of FIR. We will be using the windowing technique for the design, and the difference equation is basically not used in this FIR. Here we will use the DTFT to analyze the spectral response. Okay. Now there are two techniques we have highlighted here. One is the bilinear transformation, and other is the windowing technique. So there are many other techniques which are used for the IIR and FIR filter design. Uh, these different techniques will use the Z transform and the DTFT differently for the design. Okay, so basically, first we will see what is the ideal filter. Okay, now in case of ideal filter, the cutoff frequency is given or it is known. So we should know, it should be known the what should be the cutoff frequency. Okay, so the cutoff frequency, I will say omega c is my cutoff frequency for filter. Okay, now the ideal filter, I can say the low pass filter. So in case of low pass filter, basically low pass filter passes the lower frequency means the frequency which are less than the cutoff frequencies. Okay, less than or equal to. So this is basically the diagram for this low pass filter. Okay, this is the high pass filter. This is low pass filter. Okay, so in case of low pass filter, it passes only the frequency which are less than or equal to the cutoff frequency. Okay, other will it is the output is zero. How we define the transfer function of the low pass filter? So the low pass filter, I can say h of omega. Okay, so it is h of omega, which is low pass filter. Subscript I have written. I will give you the transfer function later. Okay, so the every filter is defined with some transfer function. Okay, so the low pass filter transfer function is designed such that it only passes the lower frequencies. Okay, now the high pass filter, in it only passes the higher frequency. So the higher frequency means the frequencies which are greater than or equal to the cutoff frequency. Okay, and the frequency below cutoff frequencies are zero. The magnitude, this is the magnitude plot basically, okay? Mod of h of w, it is magnitude plot. Again, this high pass filter is also defined with some transfer function, okay? It can be in the z domain, it can be in the s domain. So s domain and z domain, s domain is basically the continuous time domain, z domain is nothing but the digital discrete time domain, okay? So this is how we define the high pass and low pass frequencies. So high pass filter is nothing but we can say 1 minus the magnitude of low pass filter, you will get the high pass filter, okay? And vice versa. 1 minus low pass filter is not 1 minus high pass filter, you will get the low pass filter. Then the band pass filter. So band pass, the name itself says it will pass some band of frequencies. Okay. So like I am having omega C1 and omega C2. These are the two cutoff frequencies. Okay. So in band pass filter, it only passes the frequency between this band, that is omega C1 and omega C2. So the frequency which lies between these two, so you will get only output 1 here. Otherwise, it is 0. Okay, this is again a magnitude plot for this filter. Okay, and if I want to define this band pass filter with the low pass filter, so I can say this is basically the low pass filter where the cutoff frequency is omega C2 minus the low pass filter where the cutoff frequency omega C1. So if I subtract this 2, I will get this band pass filter. Okay, understood? Like so how I will draw the low pass filter for this omega C2. So this is the characteristic for this. And omega C1 low pass filter, it is like this. Okay. So if I subtract this from this, so I will get the characteristics like this. Okay. Similarly, the band stop filter. So band stop filter means we will be having the output 0 between these two frequencies, two cutoff frequencies. Okay. So the frequencies, the omega C1 and omega C2, the output will be 0 between these two. So it will not pass this frequency between these two, and otherwise we will get output 1. So it will pass its frequencies below omega C1 and the frequencies which are greater than omega C2. Okay. And up to pi it is represented because from 0 to pi, then it will again repeat the sequence. Now this band stop filter I can write in terms of low pass filter again. Okay, so band stop filter is nothing but 1 minus this whole term. 1 minus this band pass filter is nothing but the band stop filter. Okay, so 1 minus this whole term. So this minus and this minus sign will be plus here. So this is the band stop filter. So name itself says it will stop some the frequency between some band. Okay. Now, if you see these are the ideal filters. These are the ideal characteristics. Okay. These you can see here. These are the ideal characteristics. So the ideal characteristics cannot be realized in real life. Okay. So there are two reasons for this. One is that the impulse response is not zero for n less than 0. And an ideal filter is necessarily non-causal, and it is also unstable because this h of n is not absolutely summable. Since the ideal characteristics cannot be realized, Okay, so the actual characteristics must have a pass band, stop band, the transition band. Okay, so the transition band means basically the transition band determines the quality of the filter. Okay, the narrower it is, the better the filter. Okay, and the sharper is the rejection of unwanted frequencies. So in real life, this is not realizable ideal case. Okay. Now, in case of non-ideal filter, so these many characteristics we will be having in case of non-ideal filter. In case of ideal filter, there is only one characteristics, that is the cutoff frequency. Okay, cutoff frequency will be given. In case of non-ideal filter, we will be having cutoff frequency, then the pass band edge frequency, omega p. Omega s is the stop band edge frequency. We have seen pass band filter, stop band filter. Okay, so this is pass band edge frequency. S subscript for the stop band edge frequency, omega s. Delta P again is a pass band ripple. Delta S is the stop band ripple. Capital N is the filter order. It is very important. How much should be the order of the filter? Okay. We should design a filter such that we should get the desired characteristics of the system with the minimum n. Okay, so n should be minimum as possible, and we should get the desired output. Okay, so n is the filter order, delta omega is the transition bandwidth. Okay, so transition bandwidth basically the uh, determines the quality of the filter. Okay, so these many characteristics will be considered while designing non-ideal filter. Okay, now what is the characteristic of ideal filter? So an ideal filter will be like this. We have seen low pass filter is like this. Okay, but in case of non-ideal filter, this is the characteristics. This is the magnitude plot. Okay, this is plotted versus omega frequencies. Okay, now here this is the pass band. We can easily understand this is the pass band and this is the stop band. Okay, now here this the ideal case is like this. Okay, so this is one here. Okay, so this is the pass band ripple. This is pass band ripple with 1 plus delta 1, 1 minus delta 1. Okay, so delta 1, or you can say this is delta p. Delta 1 or delta p is same, and this delta 2 is nothing but delta s stop band ripple. Okay, so this is the pass band, and this how we get the non-ideal characteristics. These are like this. This is the ripple we will get in the pass band, and we can say the higher is the 1 plus delta 1 or delta p, the lower is the 1 minus delta 1. Okay, now this is the pass band frequency. Omega p is the pass band edge frequency. Okay, this is pass band edge frequency. Omega s is the stop band edge frequency. And the transition band is this. Okay, between omega p and omega s. This is the transition band. Now you can see this is not a straight line like the ideal case. Here we will get the characteristics like this, not the straight vertical line. It is like this. Okay, so this is the stop band. Okay, and this is basically the stop band ripple. This delta 2 is nothing but delta s. Okay, this is the stop band ripple. So these are the characteristics we will get in the non-ideal filter case. Okay, now we will see the IIR filter design. Okay, now to design this IIR filter, there are two common techniques. One is the impulse invariance and other one is the bilinear transformation. Okay, so basically both the techniques are implemented by converting system function of continuous time filter, that is H of S, to the discrete time system function, that is H of Z. Okay, so basically what we are doing, we will map from S domain to the Z domain. Okay, so in design process, we will convert this H of S into the discrete system function H of Z. Okay, so basically what we map all poles in S plane onto the Z plane. Okay, so the mostly we will do the bilinear transformation technique. What is this bilinear transformation? So bilinear transformation technique, this is the relation we will be having in case of bilinear transformation. Okay, so what is this relation? So the relation is S is equal to this C into 1 minus Z inverse divided by 1 plus Z inverse. Okay, so this is very important. The bilinear transformation gives us the relation between the S plane and Z plane, and where S in terms of Z, how we write S in terms of Z like this, where S is equal to the C into 1 minus Z inverse divided by 1 plus Z inverse. Okay, so this is basically to transform continuous time system into the discrete time system, or we can convert the discrete time system into the continuous time system. S is for the continuous time, Z is for the discrete time. Okay, so this is basically used in the filter design. So this relation is very important. What is C here? This C is basically, C is 2 divided by Ts, and Ts is the sampling time. Okay. The relation between the continuous time frequency is represented with this capital omega, and the discrete time frequency is with the small omega. Okay. Now the relation between the continuous time and the discrete time frequencies is like this. So the continuous time frequency capital omega is equal to C into tan of omega by 2. This is discrete time frequency omega. Okay, or this omega is 2 times tan inverse of capital omega by C. Okay, this is very important relation. So in case of bilinear transformation, this is very important, how to convert from S plane to Z plane, how to get transformation from S plane to Z plane. So S is nothing but C into 1 minus Z inverse divided by 1 plus Z inverse, and the frequency is also related like this in terms of C. the omega, capital omega, is equal to C times tan of omega by 2, and the discrete omega is equal to 2 into tan inverse of capital omega by C. Okay, where C is 2 divided by TS, sampling time. Okay. Now we will go through the filter design process. Okay. So we know that the the characteristics for the non-ideal filter. So how many characteristics are required or will be should be mentioned for the non-ideal filter? So we will be having the stop band frequency, the pass band frequency, that is edge frequencies, the ripple, stop band ripple, pass band ripple, then the order of the filter, capital N, the cutoff frequency of the filter. Okay. So in the design process of this filter, the first step is to determine the filter characteristics. Okay. So sometimes in the design example, some characteristics will be given, but some we need to find out. Okay. So we should know these many characteristics. Okay. So first step is to determine the filter characteristics. So when design filter, not all filter characteristics must be determined, but below are the three ways of specifying the filter characteristics. The first way is this is specified like the pass band ripple, the stop band ripple, the pass band frequency, the stop band frequency. Okay, so the characteristics, the first, these three ways we can specify. The second way is the order of the filter and the cutoff frequency of the filter will be given or need to be find out. Okay, then the third case where all things are specified like the cutoff frequency, stop band frequency, pass band frequency, pass band ripple. Okay, this is specified. Then the second step is to find the system function of the continuous time filter. So continuous time filter is represented with H of S. S is basically for the continuous time and Z is for the discrete time. Okay, the second step to find the system function of the continuous time filter H of S. Okay, now if we use the Butterworth filter, then we need to find the omega C and the capital N. Okay, omega C is what? This is the cutoff frequency for the continuous time. This is continuous time frequency. Capital N is the order of the filter. Okay. The third step is to transform this continuous time filter H of S into the discrete time filter H of Z. Okay. Fourth step is to obtain the time domain representation of the discrete time filter H of Z for implementation. Okay. So either we can represent this as an impulse response or the difference equation. Okay. So these are the steps. There are 4 steps in the design of this filter. Okay. Now, the filter design, basically, this is based only on the Butterworth filter. So there are many other filters, but we will start with this. We will do the design process with this Butterworth filter. Okay, which is a well-known continuous time filter. Now, if you see the magnitude spectrum of this continuous Butterworth filter, so the magnitude spectrum is defined like this. Okay. So how it is defined? The squared magnitude spectrum, it is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus omega by omega c. Omega c is the omega is the continuous time frequency. Omega c is the cutoff frequency in the continuous time. Okay, so this relation is very important. The using this Butterworth filter, we will design the IIR filter. Okay, there is also another filter, continuous time filter, that is Chebyshev filter. So in case of this Butterworth filter, the magnitude spectrum is like this. This is 1 divided by 1 plus omega by omega c to the power 2n. Okay. So what is the unknown quantity here? Capital N. That is the order of the filter. Order of the filter is not known. Correct. Or sometimes it will be given, or sometimes we need to find out the order of the filter. Okay. Now, in this case, what will happen if the omega is equal to the omega c? So what is the magnitude spectrum we will get in case of omega is equal to omega c? So in that case, this is 1. So 1 plus 1, 1 to the power, 1 to the power 2n is nothing but 1. So you will get h of j omega square is equal to 1 by 2. Okay, this is irrespective of n. You will get this, correct? That is 1 by 2, or this is a square magnitude. If I write only the magnitude, it is nothing but h of j capital omega is equal to 1 by root 2. This is irrespective of value of n. Okay. So I can plot this like the filter correct. We have plot this. The magnitude plot is with respect to omega. Okay. So if I want to low pass filter, if I say this is omega c, this is the ideal characteristics, and this is the 1 by root 2 here. Okay. So this is 1, and the characteristics you will get something like this. Okay. So this is the point where omega is equal to omega c. Okay. This is the omega axis. This plot is varying with respect to omega. Magnitude is varying with respect to omega. Okay. So this is the point where omega is equal to omega c. The value is 1 by root 2 always. Okay. This is with irrespective to n, capital N. Okay. So if I increase n, I will get something like this. Okay. So if I increase capital N, so the plot will go towards this. Okay. So this is the characteristics. Okay. So the error, I will say this is the error. So this is, if I increase n, this error will decrease. Okay. Now, this is the squared magnitude. Correct? Now, this squared magnitude, I can write like this. H of s into h of minus s is equal to, here, the omega is nothing but s is equal to j omega, I can say. So this I can write in terms of S. Okay. In terms of S, how I will write? So I will write like this: minus S square divided by omega C square to the power n. Previously it was 1 divided by 1 plus capital omega by omega c to the power twice n. Okay, so S square, this square term I can write like minus S square. Okay, because this is this the squared spectrum 1 divided by 1 plus this to the power 2n is not adequate for designing the filter. Okay, so we require the transfer function in the S plane, and the process of this analytic continuation, I can say this magnitude h of j omega square is h of s into h of minus s. Okay, and this is like this. Okay, so how I got this? I put s is equal to j capital omega. Okay, so I can go from s to j omega by putting s is equal to j omega. So if I put here s is equal to j omega, capital omega, so I will get this, correct? So the converse is also possible, right? I can get this quantity from this quantity. Okay, so converse is only possible if the function is analytic. Okay, now in this case, we are having h of s and h of minus s. Okay, so the trajectories we are finding, the trajectories of 1 plus minus s square divided by omega c square to the power n. Okay, so one half is assigned to this h of s, another half is assigned to h of minus s. Okay, now here this is the function, transfer function I can say, and if I want to find the poles of this, so this filter uh, design, we will be having the poles at s is not equal to 0, means there is no pole at the origin. Okay, so in the Butterworth case, Butterworth filter, it contains only poles and no zeros on the s plane. Okay, now if I solve this characteristic equation, what is the characteristic equation? This is the equation, characteristic equation. So if I solve this characteristic equation, so the poles, if I want to find the poles of this filter, so the poles will lie, so poles I can find like this. If I solve this, I will get s is equal to omega c into e to the power j 2k plus n plus 1 pi divided by 2n. Okay, this is the pole location. I can find the pole location. Okay, where k will go from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, so I can find the poles using this formula. Now, how many number of poles will be there? So that is depends upon what is the order of the filter, capital N. Okay. So the total number of poles will be similar to the order of filter, that is capital N. Okay. And there all poles are positioned at sigma less than 0. That is sigma is nothing but the real part of the pole, because poles can be complex conjugate. Correct. So S is the pole. I will say this is sigma plus j omega plus minus j omega. Okay. So sigma is the real part of the pole. So the real part is always in the negative half plane, left half side. Okay. So the position of pole at sigma less than 0 on the S plane. Okay. So if sigma, or the real part of the pole, is negative less than 0, so that ensures the stability of the filter. Okay. Causality and the stability. We can ensure the causality and stability of the filter. This is also very important. Okay. The following figure are example of the pole position on the display. Now here there are the two figures mentioned. Okay. Now here the omega c, that is the cutoff frequency, is equal to 1, and you can see the location of pole. If the order of pole is 2, then we will get 2 poles. Okay, these are the complex conjugate pole we will get. If the order is 5, then we will get poles like this. Okay, so these are the complex conjugate poles. One pole is on the real axis. Okay, this is again on the left half plane. We will be having the poles. Pole location are strictly on the left half plane. Okay, this is the left half plane. Okay. So the transfer function or the system function of this Butterworth filter is represent like this. Okay. So if I define the filter in terms of pole, so S minus SK, SK is what? The location of pole. Okay. And this will go from, this K will go from 0 to N minus 1. If I do the product, then I will get the denominator part of the transfer function, filter transfer function. Okay. And in the numerator, I will be having omega c to the power n. Okay. What is sk? Sk I can find with this. In this case, sk here, omega c is not multiplied, because omega c to the power n is written separately in the numerator. Okay, so sk is having e to the power j 2k plus n plus 1 into pi divided by 2m. Okay, where this k will go from 0 to n minus 1. Now, to simplify the system transfer function, I can take this omega c equal to 1. Correct? So omega c equal to 1. So the system transfer function I can write like this. 1 divided by the product of these poles, S minus Sk. Okay. This K will go from, the number of poles are basically equal to the order of the filter. Okay. If it is second order, then I will be having 2 poles only. Correct. So I will be having 2 poles. One is, if I will say, this K will go from 0 to n minus 1. If I'm having n is equal to 2, then I will be having pole S0 and S1. Okay, so in the denominator part, I will be having S minus S0 into S minus S1. And I can find S0 and S1. Correct? How I will find S0 and S1? With this formula. Okay, so e to the power j, this is k is equal to 0, so n is equal to 2, so 2 plus 1 is 3, pi divided by 4. correct? And what is S1? S1 e to the power j. This is 2 plus 2 plus 1 is that is 5 pi divided by 4. This is how I can find the pole location. This is what? This is complex conjugate. That is sine of this 3 pi by 4 plus j, the cos of 3 pi by 4 plus j sine of 3 pi by 4. Like this, I can find the pole location. Right? Now, this table is basically showing the transfer function of the filter order when omega c is equal to 1, cutoff frequency is equal to 1. Now, if the order is equal to 1, if I put n equal to 1, so in that case, so I know the standard transfer function. 1 divided by product of this. Okay, if I put n equal to 1 here, what will happen? So S minus Sk. Sk, Sk I can find here. E to the power j n equal to 1. Therefore, this is 2 pi divided by 2. So that is e to the power j pi. Are you getting this? If I want to find the filter transfer function for n equal to 1, so how I will find h of s? So for omega c equal to 1, this is 1 divided by s minus sk. Here we will having only one pole because n equal to 1. Therefore, e to the power j, this is 1 plus 1, 2 pi divided by 2. E to the power j pi. That is cos pi plus j sin pi 0, cos pi minus 1. So what you will get here? You will get 1 divided by s plus 1. Correct? So the transfer function for n equal to 1, you will get 1 divided by s plus 1. Similarly, you can find the transfer function for n equal to 2. So if you put this value here, so what you will get here? So you will get the denominator polynomial like this. Okay, so you can do this work at home. Okay, for n equal to 2, you will get like this. For n equal to 3, you will get the transfer function like this. What we are finding? We are finding the transfer function of Butterworth filter, H of S. Okay, for the different order of the filter. So this, what we are varying here, we are varying the order of the filter. For n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So for the third order filter, you will get the transfer function like this. On the in the numerator, it is 1 only. Only the denominator function is changing. Please understand, in the Butterworth filter, there is no 0. Only poles are there. And all pole will lie on the left half of the plane. Okay. So you will get only the left half plane poles. So these are the poles you will. Okay. Now, let us take an example. So design a digital low pass filter based on the second order Butterworth filter. Now in the example, second order is written, therefore n is equal to 2, where the cutoff frequency of the filter is 0.5 pi radians and omega c is also given. What is asked? Asked to design a digital filter, low pass filter. Okay. Now, first step, we have seen the step number 1 is to specify the design characteristics. So in the design characteristics, we will be having omega c, that is the cutoff frequency, which is equal to the 0.5 pi radians, and the order of the filter is equal to 2. Okay. Now, the second step is to find the system transfer function for the continuous filter. By setting, for simplicity, we will set the cutoff frequency equal to 1, the omega c. This is the continuous time cutoff frequency. Okay. So from the above table, we know for n equal to 2, what is the transfer function of h of s? So we know that it is 1 divided by s square plus 1.4142s plus 1. Okay. Now the third step is use a bilinear transformation and get the h of z. That is this continuous transfer function of the Butterworth filter into the discrete, that is h of z domain. So we will map s onto the z. So the bilinear transformation is having relation like this. Okay, so s is equal to c into this term, where c is equal to 1, the 2 by ts. Okay, now it can be computed. Now we need to compute the c value, but ts is not given here. So it can be computed based on the omega c and omega c. That is this discrete omega c and the continuous omega c. Okay. So the discrete omega c is given, that is 0.5 pi. The continuous omega c is 1. For simplicity, we are using this one. Okay. So now we know the relation. In case of bilinear transformation, we know the relation between the discrete frequency and the continuous frequency. So this continuous frequency is equal to c times tan of the discrete cutoff frequency divided by 2. Okay, so I can find C, correct? So C equal to this divide by this term. Okay, so 1 divided by C is 1, omega C is 1. So this is 1 divided by tan of, this is 0.5 pi divided by 2, therefore this is 0.25 pi. So tan of 0.255, if you do this, you will get 1. This is pi by 4. Tan of pi by 4 is nothing but 1. So 1 by 1, you will get 1. The value of C, you will get 1. Okay. Now, what you will do? You will get the h of z. So instead of s, you need to put c into this term. Here c is equal to 1. So this term you need to put here. Okay. So this is s square plus this term into s plus 1. So if you simplify this, what is the base? Base is 1 plus z inverse square. Okay. So if you take this common, so you will multiply this term with this, and this is again square. So this denominator will go in the numerator. So you will get the final h of z like this. Okay. And again, if you solve this, if you take this term common here and 1 in the denominator like this, so you will get h of z like this. Okay. Now the fourth step is to get the time domain representation, the difference equation. Okay, so I can write this difference equation like this. Correct? So y of n is equal to, I can say this into h is nothing but y pi x. Correct? This h of z is equal to y by x. Okay, so y of n, this is z, so I can say y of n by x of n. Okay, so this term will go here. So y of n into 1 plus 0.186 z to the power minus 1 minus 2 is equal to 0.2929 x of n into this whole term. Okay, so z to the power minus 1, I can say the delay from the properties we can use, and I can say this is y of n equal to this 0.29 into x of n plus a 2 into x of n minus 1. If I use the properties, Z transform properties, so Z inverse into x of n is what? X of n minus 1. Okay, plus x of n minus 2 minus this part will go here on the right hand side. So therefore it is minus 0.this into y of n minus 2, because z to the power minus 2 into y of n, which is equal to y of n minus 2. Okay, so this is the final expression. This is the last step in the design process. Now, if I want to see the shape of the filter, so I can plot h of omega. Okay, so the magnitude plot, if you plot this, so you will get the plot like this, and you can observe here the frequency omega equal to omega c. The value is this 0, 1 by root 2. Okay, this is 1 by root 2 at omega equal to omega c. So the omega c is given, that is 0.55. Okay, and this is the phase in dB. This is the plot in dB. So when we plot the magnitude in dB, so you can see here, this will, the omega is equal to omega c at minus 3. Okay. And the pole zero plot here, this is the pole zero plot of the filter. So I am having two zeros and these two poles. Okay, so two zeros at the same location. If I solve this, this is z minus 1. So at minus 1, there are two zeros. Okay, and the pole I will be getting on the j omega axis. Okay. So this is the second order filter. So please understand, the second order filter is will be having two poles. Strictly will be having two poles. Okay. So this is the plot, pole zero plot. So if I plot the characteristics in term like the magnitude plot and the pole zero plot, so I can see it clearly. Okay, so this is the filter design. Okay, so in this example, the characteristics are given only the omega c, and the order of the filter is given. Okay, now if we see the next example, in the next example, design this IIR low pass filter based on the Butterworth filter with the following filter characteristics. Now here, the ripple, pass band, stop band ripple is given. The pass band, stop band frequencies, edge frequencies are also given. Okay. Now with this characteristics, how to design a filter. Okay, so that we will see in the next lecture, okay, or tomorrow's tutorial session. Okay, so today I will stop with this one example one. Tomorrow we will continue this with this second example. Okay, so this is the design process of IIR filter with Butterworth filter, continuous time Butterworth filter. Okay, There is another continuous time filter also, Chebyshev filter. With that filter also we can design a IIR filter. Okay. So this is the whole design process of this. So today I will stop here. Tomorrow we will continue this. Okay. Yes. Is there any doubt?
Ano, Doctor?
Hi, Rajini.
Hello.
Rajini, may I know how many topics left?
Sorry, what do you say?
How many topics left for you to cover?
Topics we will the design IIR FIR filter is left. Again, the wavelet transform is left. The discrete time series is also left.
So another three, right?
Yes. So do we have the 3 weeks?
So 17 next week is a holiday actually.
17 we are having holiday. Okay.
Yeah.
And next Monday.
Next Monday is 17. So we are left with 4th of June. So is it possible if we have a class this coming Friday?
Yeah. We can take extra session means on Thursday or Friday we can take it.
Okay. So yang lain macam mana? Jam berapa? I'm asking this. Are you okay with either Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, I'm okay with Thursday or Friday. It is okay for me.
I know. Oh, I know. Kamu ada Friday or
Friday what time?
Friday macam apa?
sorry? Apa? No.
Kan kelas ganti semicon akan Friday. If I'm not mistaken, we got the replacement class for semiconductor on Friday.
How about Thursday?
Thursday, I guess okay. Yeah,
So
should be okay.
sorry, apa itu?
Thursday should be okay.
So is it possible? Is it okay if we do Thursday about 10 a.m.?
No, we got class at 10.
Okay, so
Okay.
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Boleh?
Okay.
2 p.m.
Dokter, untuk 2 PM
Ya.
tu
Hah?
Kamis kah 2 PM tu?
Ya, Kamis.
2 PM kami ada kelas, dokter. Kalau pagi tidak.
Pagi tidak. So jam 10 lah.
Jam 10 boleh?
Kami ada kelas. Kami ada kelas tuh, Mass and Progression.
Jam 8, dokter.
Jam 8 bro.
Ya, boleh.
So kita how about like this lah. How about we do on Thursday 2 p.m. But for those who are unable to attend the class, you can rewatch the coding.
Okay.
Yeah. So Rajini,
Thursday 2 p.m. No?
yeah, Thursday 13th of June.
Thursday 16th of June. No. Thursday is 13th of June.
13? 13, right? Yeah, 13.
Yeah. 13th of June. Okay, we will be having at 2 p.m. No?
Yeah. So I will put it on chat.
Okay. Tomorrow we will be having tutorial at 10. 10, no?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So if there's no another question, I think we can this session.
Dokter,
Yeah.
untuk yang Thursday tadi tu, Thursday 2 PM tu pengecualian ke tadi, dokter? Untuk yang kelas DSP, untuk yang ada kelas 2 petang tu.
Siapa yang ada kelas 2 petang tuh